We got the groove with the music, don't suck. Come.
Welcome back to the studio on MMAnytt. And Frank, we were talking about Ilir Latifah's chances against Gegard Mousasi and dirty boxing and wrestling. Mm-hmm. You're a dirty boxer and a wrestler.
Yeah, it's
in fact, you're a dirty wrestler.
In fact, I'm just dirty. You know? I'm like the dirtiest martini you've ever seen. It's horrible. There's something to be said about a wrestler strong and understands position, because he can slow the fight down and stop it and put it in a space where no one gets any damage, but he will always be ahead of the game because he's driving Gegard in the fence. When he's on top, holding him down, not doing anything really active, but being on top. From a judge's standpoint, he's winning the round. He's winning this, so it makes also Mousasi to open up and do a lot more swinging than he wants to try to catch back up again, which opens him up to get caught for straight punch down the center when he's not expecting it, because now he's getting desperate. And that's the kind of fight you hope he fights. That he slows it down, and waits till later rounds to accelerate. If he tries to accelerate and match Mousasi in the beginning, he'll get dropped early. So you got to see which way he comes out in the first round.
And we've seen Gegard's grappling and submission skills. You've been in there with Ilir, and obviously you're known for your grappling skills. How do you do with Ilir? How does it feel to have Ilir's strength and weight on top of you?
Like we said before, the guy's insanely strong. He's very hard. It's like pretty much impossible to get a sweep or something.
Really?
Or some kind of hold on him. Yeah, I've grappled with a lot. I grappled with Alistair for many years, and Alistair is a 265 guy, and the power is pretty much the same.
Yeah. Really?
Yeah.
So you're comparing Ilir's power and strength to Alistair?
Really strong.
That's what I said, man. That's what I said. It's
so like Frank said, I think he has no pressure. If he can put the wrestling, because from Mousasi is a total different. He was fighting a boxing, now he's fighting a wrestling.
Yeah.
Easily is gonna bring a total different game than Alex.
Yeah.
Probably if Mousasi was making a game to go in on Alex to avoid the reach, now he's gonna change his plan. Yeah. Because he cannot run into Ilir. It's gonna be
that would be dumb. That would be plain dumb.
We saw King Mo against Gegard. Yeah. And he had a lot of problems.
Yeah.
Right.
He did. And talking about high-level black belts, you're also a high-level black belt, Waldo, and you also train with Ilir. How do you do with him?
I buy him a cup of coffee. We talk about what's on TV for tonight and stuff. Exactly. Are you kidding me? I'm old. I tell him, when I was young, I would have done this. That's what I tell him. No, really. Without exaggeration, he is insanely strong. And
you said he punches hard as well.
Yeah. Yeah, the thing is he has to reach you because he's got short arms.
Right.
But if he hits you, unless you're that freaky Japanese guy you fought a couple years ago, unless you're him, you're going down.
Yeah. Oh wow. So now, but he has to make 205. You know more than anyone because you're around him every day. What does he walk around at? How much weight does he have to cut in 4 days?
Man, I actually am not sure, but
you can tell us.
They were come down to check, and Bart said it was good.
Okay.
It was good.
He's actually a little bit smaller now than he used to be.
Yeah.
Just a little bit smaller. So I think it's 10 pounds tops. It's just nothing.
And David, you were
around 220 maximum.
Yeah.
Something around 220.
Yeah.
20? Can't wait. What do you think? What does it do to you with 4 days notice?
I mean, when I'm helping people cut weights kind of for a different purpose, so I think with fighters is like they have to cut something like 5 pounds sometimes in 1 day, something like that.
I've been with Frank when he's cutting 15 pounds in a day.
5 pounds.
I wouldn't do it in 4 days. For me, it's impossible.
Or 5 kilos, which is something like 10 pounds.
10 a little bit, yeah.
That's a lot of weight, man.
Yeah.
How much did you lose for that fight? And what was it, a year ago?
I'm a normal 205, and I fight at 170.
Yeah. Because you looked really horrible.
Yeah.
Man.
205 is my normal going weight, like on Monday morning.
Yeah.
And we asked other guys what other fights they're looking forward to seeing. Who are you looking forward to seeing except from Ryan Couture?
Well, obviously I wanted the Trigg Mousasi fight. I'm a big fan of both guys. I love their style. And I love how both of them bring a different kind of mindset to the exact same game. Unfortunately, that's not going to happen, but the main event intrigues me tremendously. Like, I'm really interested, but I'm really paying attention to Marcus Bromwich.
Yeah.
He's fighting Conor McGregor.
Yeah.
And it's really this this, like, forgive me if I get the exact records wrong, but like Connor's like 12-1 or 12-2, something like that.
It's very good.
And then Marcus is like, 8-1, 6-1, 7-1. Okay, it's like real low, and it's like, well, this guy's not as good as I am. But then you look at the two records, and yeah, the favor is going on McGregor, because you look at what he's done recently with Cage Warriors. And no disrespect to Cage Warriors, but he's fighting the best guys in Ireland.
Yeah, it's a small venue.
Okay, you're fighting the best guys in Ireland. I get it. That's the best that they have to offer in Ireland. I understand that, but you haven't fought. If you look at Marcus's history, who he beat up, he beats up Maximo Blanco at his own game and stops Maximo from doing what he wants to normally do, which is, anybody who's ever saw MMA and seen Maximo fight, is impossible to do. You can't get that guy to stop doing anything, let alone his own style of fighting. And Marcus makes that happen.
Yeah.
He's one of those guys that everybody wants to attack, because if you fight Vladimir Matyashenko, no matter whether you win, lose, or draw, you look bad doing it.
Yeah.
His style slows you down, grabs you, pulls you down. He doesn't let you do anything. So he slows you up so much, you look bad. Marcus, no matter what happens in the fight, win, lose, or draw, Rummage makes you look great.
Yeah.
So everybody at the weight class wants to fight him, because he's kind of in that middle bottom tier, and he's about ready to jump into the upper bottom tier, but he's just stuck right there. And like, if they can stop him, they'll look great doing it, get a knockout of the night, have a great fight, it even goes to decision, and they'll get moved in, get a bonus of the fight of the night, and then they get accelerated. If Marcus beats you, even though you lose, you still look great doing it, because of the way he fights. Yeah. So it's always a great fight. So of course, kind of wants to call him out. He wants to make this a fight. And I like the dynamics of the mental game that they're both playing, the physical game they're both playing, and the fact that Marcus is he's literally a hillbilly from Alabama. he was walking around earlier with no shoes and socks on. Just walking around the hotel, no shoes. Like, Marcus, what are you doing? I'm just a hillbilly. I'm walking around. I got my socks. He has socks in his pocket. I think it's cool. Put my socks on. Like, really? You're in the hotel lobby? Walk. Yeah, I'm good. So he's like that kind of kid, and he doesn't get it. This is supposed to be a lot of pressure on him. He just doesn't understand it. He's just gonna fight. I'm good. So I'm interested in that.
I agree, and I think that's a good fight as well. But one of the complaints among the Swedish fans is saying that the card doesn't hold a lot of names, a lot of big names. Whereas we spoke about it before. This good fights on this card.
Same thing happened in Calgary. Remember that debacle the UFC had in Calgary, where every time you turned on the TV, somebody else was pulling off the card because of injury. Yeah. They had 9 guys pull off. They lost 3 fights entirely to the injuries and had to replace everybody. Ended up being the second best card they ever had in the history of the sport. Yeah. It was like, this is just ridiculous. Same thing here. People got to stop looking at names.
Also in Brazil, when Aldo got injury, and then Anderson stepped in the last minute.
They moved the whole show.
And then, boom, great fights happened. Anderson was just unbelievable that day.
Yeah. They moved the whole show to a different city.
Yes. Yeah.
And still it was a great
The fans at home have to stop looking at who's the name fighter on here. Stop it. The UFC is doing a great job of building up through the Tough Reality Show and through the other, bringing guys on and grabbing the right guys from other organizations and bringing them in. When they're signed to the UFC, you better expect a fight. Yeah. Because they all know the bonus structure. Yes. They all know that one fight, if you lose, you could be out, and no one wants to be put. Once you're in the majors, you never want to go back down to the minors. You always want to stay up. So these guys come and they fight. There's not a big, huge name on this card. But every fight's going to be a dynamic fight if you pay attention to the fight itself, because of the way the matchmaking, Joe Silva and Sean Shelby, put the fights together. It's going to be a great fight if the fans at home will just get over I'm not going to watch it because there's no Anderson Silva, there's no GSP. We're looking for the next Anderson Silva and GSP. Exactly. That's what we're looking for right now.
I was going to say that. The opposite. If you have no spotlight on a main event, everybody else gets the time to shine, and everybody wants to shine. So I think people are going to be really bringing it. And now with the added pressure that you might get cut, you might get blah, 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 people are going to double that. They're just going to swing.
You going on Saturday, David?
If you hook me up with some tickets.
We're going to be hooking some fans up with tickets later on. We're going to be hooking up with some fans with tickets later on. We're going to take another commercial break. Don't go anywhere. We'll be right back.
It has been hunted since the beginning of man. It has challenged us to become better, faster, and more determined. Failure is part of the game, but never accepted. But as sweet as it may taste in the end, it's the pursuit that defines those in it. Here's to victory. Next chance to join the chase.
Betta live i mobilen. Nu dubblar vi din första insättning.
betsafe.com. In it to win it.